Hi, folks, and welcome back to the Menstrual Cycle Mastery podcast. I'm Lisa DeYoung, and I'm just delighted to have you here. In today's episode, I'm going to be chatting with you about the Menstrual Coach Academy course, the Menstrual Coaching and Facilitation Professional Training, in a lot more detail, so that you can have an understanding and an overview and a feel for what the course is see if it's a good fit for you, and yeah, just to let you know that we are starting the program in September. The deadline to join is the 2nd of September 2025. I usually run this program about once a year, so that's when we're starting this year. For the last few years, I think it's going to be coming into its fifth year this year. But the last few years, I started in October, so it ran from October to March. But just for personal reasons, it's running now from September until February, March time. So they're the dates, and I will be popping all the links and all the details in the show notes and underneath this video as well if you're watching on YouTube, so you can check it out. And I do always encourage people to read through all the information in my application form to join. You even have to tick a box that says you've read through all the information to make sure it's a good fit for you. Because if it's not a good fit for you, it's not a good fit for me and for us and my team. And it needs to be a good fit for everybody so that we can have a really beautiful, clean experience in the group dynamic that we are creating in the program. So, what is the Menstrual Coach Academy? The Menstrual Coach Academy is a school that I have created out of the professional training that I started in 2021, the Menstrual Cycle Coaching Professional Training and Facilitation. And it is a 6 month long journey of learning integration skills development in the field of menstrual cycle coaching and facilitation. So that's what it is. And by the end of the training, you will have the opportunity to be certified as a menstrual cycle coach and facilitator with a certificate that is accredited and carries 50 CPDs, so continued professional development points. Who is it for? The program is for anyone who feels like this is a good fit for their professional training. I work with people from all different backgrounds. So, people who are life coaches, they want to integrate menstrual cycle awareness into their practice. People who are psychotherapists, physiotherapists. We've had medical professionals, we've had nurses, we've had school teachers, all women and people with cycles who want to learn and integrate this for their own professional practice. And then we also have people who are, maybe they're full-time moms busy at home and they want to integrate it for themselves, for their own personal needs, or maybe it's not necessarily a field that's directly connected to your area of work, but you can see the relevance and the importance. And we have had people who work in the areas of like HR and IT, just who have an interest and a passion and want to dive deeper into this work for themselves personally, in order then to maybe in the future pay it forward and work in this space. So if you feel a call to this work to step into both learning and also building a personal relationship with the tools and the skills that we're learning in this program, you are more than welcome to join us. And what is beautiful about that is when we have people in the program from all different backgrounds, we have people from different backgrounds, different countries, different nationalities, different identities, ages, races, sexual orientation, there's so much diversity in this space. It's beautiful because it creates such interesting conversations, such rich conversations, and just a really fun time together in the group with a global classroom of people learning this topic and passionate about the menstrual cycle. So that's who it is for. What does this 6 month training help you with exactly? And I think that's a really valid question to ask. So this training will help you essentially to understand the coaching tools and skills required to bring this work to other people, whether that's through teaching, therapy, coaching, or facilitation. And it will also help you with your own personal integration of this work too. Okay. The menstrual cycle currently in the year 2025, as it stands, is not really on the curriculum of a lot of important university degrees and qualifications that it should be like like physiotherapy or like psychotherapy or even in medicine. Like it's very much looked at only from that like very medical pathologized approach, which is fair, for what it is now, but hopefully in the future that will change. But the role of the Menstrual Coach Academy is to fill the gap for any caring profession who sees that there's a gap here in your practice. You want to learn about this and weave it into your work in a way that is in alignment with your practice and with what your clients need. And that's the purpose of this, is that we help you to fill that gap and to understand how to work with it. Because, the thing is, like, you can go and learn about the menstrual cycle from a book, and then you can take a course in life coaching. But the problem with that is that the approach and the skills and the tools that in a lot of life coaching classes or even in psychology itself, they are coming from a very different approach. And the after years of my own experience working in this space, the skills and the tools that are required to work with the menstrual cycle and to weave this in, we call them the anti-oppressive mind body tools, are much more effective. And it's very important that we understand how to work in a way that is in alignment with the integrity of this work as well. And that you'll understand that as we go through the course. It's not just about teaching stuff at people. It's very much an embodied experience. It's about the relationship we build with our clients. It's about deeply understanding the nervous system and understanding pain science and having some understanding of like medical conditions and knowing how to support our clients through that as well from the mind body perspective. And yeah, so that'll really help you. So something I have seen is that, like, take for example a psychotherapist or a counselor who is very good at what they do, and then a client comes into their work and they present with like a lot of mental health challenges because of the menstrual cycle. That can feel a little scary if you've never really learned about that, you've never talked about it, you're not trained in that area. How do you even broach that with your client? Your client might even know more about this topic than you. So that's what our role is, to help you feel confident talking about this and supporting your client with working this through, because there's so much to learn and so much to know. And what's beautiful as well about this work is that when we work from that mind body perspective, you have the opportunity to teach your client some amazing things that will help them. They're not just going to be there to like talk about it. You can actually help them through transformation with with the relationship that they have with their menstrual cycle, and heal or soothe pain and get to the bottom of what's going on from a mind body lens. And that's what we're specializing in here in the Menstrual Coach Academy. So, I often get asked about the curriculum, and this is available. You can check this out on our website, and in the information booklet, you can go through the detailed list of all the topics that we teach. But I'll just give you a quick overview of all the important ones. So, a lot of people come to my work because they know that I specialize in the nervous system and something called the polyvagal theory. And what I do in this work and what I help my students to become really skilled at and knowledgeable in is understanding the intersection of the menstrual cycle and the polyvagal theory with the endocrine system and the female sex hormone. Sorry, so the nervous system and the polyvagal theory intersection with the menstrual cycle and the female sex hormones. Okay, the endocrine system, so all your hormones. And because the male nervous system is different to the female nervous system, and it's important that we understand that. And because of that, the menstrual cycle hormonal world doesn't really talk about the nervous system and trauma as much. And then the trauma and the mind body and the nervous system polyvagal world, they don't talk about the menstrual cycle because they're like, we don't know about this, and at least yet. So what I've done in my work and my body of work is I'm bringing the two together, and we're really exploring the intersection of those two and the intersection of a lot of different things and working from those intersections. So that's really important because, like, a lot of people who come to my practice, if they're stuck in cycles of chronic pain and they learn about the menstrual cycle and they learn about diet and nutrition, but they're still in a lot of fight flight energy in their nervous system, it defeats the purpose of the work. And they're still going to be in floods of stress hormones and inflammation in their body until they learn how to regulate that nervous system and unravel themselves from the cycles that they're stuck in. And that's what we're helping you to do in the Menstrual Coach Academy, is helping you to become a really skilled and confident coach and help you with helping your client figure that out. So we've got the nervous system, we've got polyvagal theory, we're looking at menstrual cycle awareness and the endocrine system. We don't go into a massive amount of detail. I'm not an endocrinologist. You can get that information elsewhere, but we do go into some detail about hormones in the menstrual cycle. And we also have bonus guest lectures on these topics too. We look at diet and nutrition again, not in a huge amount of detail, but the module is there and we look at the important basics. And then again, we have bonus teachers teaching on that topic as well. We're looking at lifestyle, for example, sleep and sleep science. That's a big topic too. And then another big topic in my work is pain psychology and pain science. And this will be really helpful for you if you struggle with chronic pain, or if you want to work with people who have pain or PMS or PMDD, endometriosis, is to look at the psychology of that, because that will really, really help with treating and helping, well, not treating, but supporting people from the mind body perspective and using that approach to treat clients. We're looking at psychology and the menstrual cycle as well, the menstrual cycle and creativity, the menstrual cycle and spirituality, the Celtic wheel. So a lot of like information. We are starting the course with a lot of information. And then as we move deeper into the course, we go into the part of the course that's all about what coaching tools and skills are required to bring this work to your clients. So we're moving from like learning information and knowing things to then how do we bring this into that relationship with the client? How do we coach? How can my coaching skills be effective? How do I facilitate groups? How do I teach this to young girls? How do I bring this into schools? How do I bring this into communities or corporations, into the workplace, etc.? Or maybe you want to learn how to design a workshop and collaborate with like a yoga teacher or something, or maybe you want to learn how to build a piece of work for clients that also integrates your existing practice. So maybe you're like a somatic practitioner or a life coach or a yoga teacher or a movement facilitator, and you're wanting to weave this into your work. We're also going to be looking at that, and also all the coaching skills and tools. And that's one of my specialities in this area too. And the reason I specialize in this is because the coaching relationship itself can be an agent for change, healing, and transformation. And I've seen that happen time and time again. And I'm very excited about it. And I can't wait to teach you all these tools and skills that we're going to be learning. That includes somatic practices, and I train you how to be something called trauma informed. So it's not trauma trained, but knowing how to work with trauma if it's there, if it's in the room, how to create safety for your clients and for yourself. And we explore working with the systemic lens. That's very important too. So because I work with that mind body connection and pain science, I'm working with something called the biopsychosocial model. So we're not just looking at what is happening hormonally in the body. We're also looking at the client's relationship with themselves, what's happening with their nervous system, what's happening in their environment, what barriers are they facing, what access to the resources do they have, what supports do they have in their life, community relationships, all that stuff. And really what we're doing is, through that exploration and through our coaching skills and working with clients, is we're helping them to, and us, we're helping, if you're working with a client as a team, we're looking for the root cause of their dysregulation and helping them navigate that, so that when we get to the root cause of dysregulation, that helps their nervous system regulate. And then over time, it gives the body more of a chance to have less pain and fewer pain signals firing as well. We also do look at menopause and perimenopause, and all of the skills and the tools and the information that you'll get will enable you to work with clients who are going through this, because they're all very, very therapeutic tools and skills you'll be learning. And we also have guest teachers on these topics. And then after, so we've moved from information into coaching skills, tools, relationships, skills and tools, to then working with understanding business and marketing from a trauma-informed perspective. And that's very important. A lot of people, myself included, we can train in a healing modality or some kind of therapy, and then we don't know how to build a business around it. So we go to like a business course, but then the business course is teaching us like to put urgency and pressure on people. And there's a lot of bro marketing. And that's fine for some industries maybe, but it's not at all in alignment with the work you're trying to bring to the world and sell your clients. So we talk about sales and marketing in a way that is nourishing for your clients. So I said to a lady I was speaking to this morning, actually, we had a consult call, and I said to her, your work for your clients starts before they even meet you. So they're looking at your website, they're listening to your interviews, or they're looking at your Instagram. They're experiencing feelings, they're having thoughts, they're beginning their process before they even step foot in your door or meet you online. Okay. So that's really important, is to think about the impact we have, our responsibility, showing up for our marketing, the topics we want to talk about, and the energy we put into our marketing as well. That's so, so important when it comes to trauma informed marketing. And that's a huge module we cover, and something that I also continue to help my students with if they so want to after the course. And that's another question I get asked is, Lisa, I want to do this course and I want to start this work, but I know 6 months might not be enough time. Do you have a longer course or something else afterwards? And the answer is yes, I have a community, especially for graduates of the Menstrual Coach Academy, for supervision and coaching. So the help is there. So that's the curriculum. And then we move on to the structure of the course. So the structure of the course is actually quite easy to understand. We have lectures on a Saturday once a month. And those at the moment, they are from 2 o'clock my time in Dublin, London time, to 8 p.m. that same time. So 2 to 8. We have a break every hour because I don't like to overwhelm people. So we have a break every hour for about 5 or 10 minutes for a bathroom or take a breather. And then we have an hour break at 5. So we have, I think it's 3 hours of teaching and then a long break and then 2 hours of teaching and then lots of breaks in between. And it is all on Zoom. It's all recorded. So if you're in a different time zone and you don't want to get up for the first couple of hours because it's too early, or you have to nip out because it's late, or maybe you're in Australia and it's just not doable, you can catch up on the recordings. That's no problem. And we've had students from all over the world do that. And I really encourage, this is actually the number one thing I encourage my new students to do every year, is to really think about how you can make this course easy and comfortable for you. Okay. Because I know it's scary signing up to a new course, and we can doubt ourselves with, will I show up? Will I finish the course? Can I trust myself? Do I have enough capacity? I'm overwhelmed already, but I really want to do this. This course is going to really nourish me. It will light me up. It's going to help me feel connected, which it will, because we've got a beautiful community. But if you're feeling worried about your capacity or your energy or work or your schedule, do not worry. This is not a course where you have to show up in a certain way. It's not like being in school or university where there's like rules. The number one rule that I ask my students to do is to take radical responsibility for your self-care. So that means if you need to miss a couple of hours, that's fine. You can catch up with us. Or if you need to sit and listen and have the camera off, that's okay. Or if you need to just not engage for a while, that's okay too. So what we're doing is we're learning to really listen to our needs. We're learning from a place of nervous system regulation as opposed to inner criticism or fear or urgency or people pleasing, what you think Lisa wants. Okay. We're learning from a place of being with ourselves, learning our own needs and trusting ourselves that we will hear what we need to hear. And if we have to catch up on something, that's fine. You can do that. There's in the recordings, you can listen and you can also watch. That's, no problem. And you can split it up over a couple of days. And then also the content will be available for a year after the course too. So you've loads of time to catch up. Because I do get a lot of people who are working full time or busy moms, and you're not sure, or maybe moving house or moving country, and or pregnancy or something is happening, as there is in life. And yeah, that happens every year, but it's okay. I'm here to support you. The group is there to support you, and you'll be fine. You have all the structures and the systems in place, and we'll be checking in with you as well. So that's important to say. So that's, sorry, I've gone on a tangent. So the structure is the Saturday lecture once a month from September till February. I think that's so 6 months. And we also have an orientation day as well. So the orientation call is just 2 hours the week before we start. That's like an intro call, and I talk you through all of the housekeeping and show you all the technology and get you comfortable. And then we have the process group. So the process group is, instead of being in the big group, in the lecture group, we go into small groups. So that's 6 to 8 people, sometimes a little bit less, not more than 8. You pick your process group based on your time zone and you stay in that group. So, for example, you might be in group 2, and that will be on, I don't know, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. in your time zone. And then you stay in that group and you have a meeting with that group once a month as well. Okay. And your process group, then you get to know all your classmates in your process group, and that's the other call that you have to come to. That I encourage you to come to. Okay. I do encourage you to come live to that, because that's when we kind of practice our coaching skills and get a little bit dirty with the tools and all the things that we're learning in the course. And outside of the lecture day and the process group, you have the option of having a listening partner as well, which is really nice, because that can be really great for accountability and just for, yeah, just for chatting with another student and sharing your experiences and checking in and sharing your feelings and staying accountable and listening to each other and learning from each other. And I will explain exactly how to do the listening partnership process and assign you a listening partner. But that's an option you can have. You don't have to, because some people don't want to, but you can do that. And I do encourage it because it's very supportive. And what else do we have? I send you a journal as well, a menstrual cycle tracking journal. And we have an online like chat room in a software called Slack. So you can download that on your phone, and it's not on social media, which is nice because you're not kind of getting stuck into scrolly stuff on, on Facebook or whatever. And what else? You have lots of bonus material as well. So you have access to the online classroom where there are guest teachers. In this particular course, in my body of work, I tend to not put a lot of energy and focus on bringing in loads of different practitioners, because my focus for you is on you. And I want you to be focused on your own skills and the learning process, as opposed to taking in loads of information and stuff from other teachers. And I think there's enough out there in terms of books and podcasts that you can access. And we do have a reading list as well that people engage with, and then there's like lots of books and things you can choose from, and that's also a really nice extra resource, but it's not a requirement. And the reason I don't overload my work with loads of guest teachers is just because for the purpose of this work that I'm teaching, that would be a distraction, and we're here to really really learn coaching skills and tools and hone those skills and get really confident without kind of getting distracted or feeling like we're not good enough, which can happen when there's a lot of guest teachers and that kind of thing. So but there is bonus content, extra optional bonus content for you to watch on it, really interesting supplementary topics. So that's it. And what else do I want to say? Yeah, the requirements are, you can read about the requirements and the capacity in the information booklet. But like I said, I really, really encourage all my students to learn and engage with this course from a place of ease, from a place of gentleness, from a place of like being honest with yourself about your capacity, figuring out how to make it work for you. Every single person who's on this course, like they do it in their own way. They really do. Like some people are really like on and like engaged and chatty, and that's okay. And then other people are tired because they're pregnant, or maybe other people are breastfeeding and they want to keep that camera off, or they've got kids in the background. That is totally fine. We're here to really honor our needs and get curious about our needs. And I trust you that you're not here to waste your own time. You're coming in because you care, because you love this work, and you want to have fun, and you want to connect, and you want to be engaged in an interesting topic, and you want to learn from a teacher, me. And I do trust you with knowing what's best for you and how you work. And what I often see with that message that I constantly send out to my students is that people are like, oh my God, I didn't realize I didn't have to be like so hard on myself when it comes to learning. And I don't need to know every single little detail. And actually, when I reflect, I do know loads of things. And thank you, Lisa, for letting me turn off my camera. And thank you for reminding me to take breaks. And thank you for being okay with me missing the first couple hours or the last couple hours. And I was able to catch up, and then I got my sleep. And, so we really try to remove any unnecessary stress or inner critic or pressure that we might have picked up from school and university, from other ways of learning. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind. I really want this to be a nourishing experience for you, and I do not want you to feel under pressure during the course of the program. And then at the end of the program, you have the option to apply for accreditation and certification, and you do that through the assessment. So the assessment is what's called a reflective practice assessment. And in the program, I will explain more what that is. But rather than it being like a test where I'm like testing your knowledge, it's not that. It's you're reflecting on your experience, you're reflecting on your journey, you're reflecting on your learnings, you're reflecting on your process, you're reflecting on what was hard for you, your edges, what you liked, what you didn't like. So, yeah, it's a deeply reflective practice. And the reason we use that is because in coaching work and in relational coaching work, and particularly with this mind body work, having the skills to do the reflective practice is so important because you'll need to do that when you're working with clients, if you, especially if you're working with clients for more than one session, or if you're taking a group through a process, you'll need to learn how to do reflective practice so that when something gets difficult, which it does in coaching, or you sort of hit a bit of a stumbling block with a client or in your own coaching practice, that you know how to move through that without giving yourself a hard time and internalizing it. And I'll just give you an example because I was only correcting all the assessments yesterday. One student, Laura, from last year, she works with moms and daughters. And shout out to Laura if you're listening. And she had this beautiful insight in her reflective practice assessment, which really got my attention, which was that when we did a piece of work around the inner critic. And she realized that her inner critic can be quite loud in relation to her creativity and her work. And she used to think, oh, I'm not good enough to take my business to the next level, because it was that inner critic like saying to her, like, you're not good enough. But she realized when she sat with it and she explored her inner critic through the course, which we do, she realized that her inner critic was actually pointing towards the need for support. And she's now able to have a relationship with her inner critic where she can really listen without internalizing it and believing it, and just hearing that message of like, oh, I need support, I need help, I need to hire somebody, or I need a collaboration or some other kind of help, maybe a tech person to help with something. And there's loads of help out there when it comes to business, and I think a lot of us don't know that. But she realized that, yeah, my inner critic kind of pipes up when I'm needing help. And I personally really related to that, because I can definitely relate to that default thinking of like, oh, I need to figure this out by myself, when actually we don't need to be an expert in everything, and there's loads of help out there. So that was an example of a reflective practice little gem that Laura offered in her assignment. And so that is what you'll do. You'll submit your assessment. The assessment can be submitted in writing or in audio or in video, whatever works for you, because we're trying to be inclusive and accessible for people. And like I said, help you with your learning style, or maybe you're busy. Like I said, Laura had kids around her, and she submitted her assessment over video instead of sitting down and writing, which was good for her. And that's really it. So the last question I always get is, what are graduates doing now? It really depends on the person. They're doing all sorts of amazing things. I have a lot of graduates who are working with clients one to one in different like niches. So some people are focused on pain and endometriosis, and then other people are more focused on menstrual cycle awareness and creativity and energy management and more the lifestyle side of things. And then I have people who are bringing it to the corporate world in all different countries and in different languages. I have nutritionists who are integrating this into their practice and building coaching programs that's not just about nutrition, but also bringing in mind body coaching and relationship coaching into their work. I have graduates who are school people bringing it into schools and creating curriculum for schools and program for girls and teens and moms. I have body workers, counselors, youth workers. A couple of years ago, we had a musician, so pianist and a vocal coach, bringing this to her vocal coaching clients because of that connection between she probably will do a much better job of explaining this, but the vocal cords and our sex organs as well. So that connection. And we have had energy workers and healers, and obviously yoga teachers and life coaches and career coaches and facilitators. And we've had moms coming in and learning this for themselves and for their family and bringing it to their relationship with their husband or their partner and their kids and their daughters and their sons even. So there's so many different people coming in with different backgrounds, and that's the beautiful thing about it. It's not a one size fits all. We're taking you through a process in this course, and everyone takes away what they need from it. And I'm really proud to say that people are just the feedback is, yeah, it's incredible. I was correct, like I said, I was correcting the assessments yesterday, and I was just amazed at the takeaways from my students and how much they wrote. Some of them wrote a lot of pages, and I had to like correct them all, which was wonderful. But it was just such a pleasure to just hear about how their own life has changed, how their career is changing, the opportunities it's opening up for them. I also have people working in femtech as well, which is really cool. And yeah, so definitely do check out our testimonials. We've got video testimonials up on the website and on YouTube. And I think that's it. If you've any questions at all, do not hesitate to send me an email. And you can check out all the details, menstrualcoachacademy.com. Please do check out the information booklet, which is linked on the website. And I will make sure that I link that as well in the show notes, because that's kind of goes into more detail than the website. Because if I put everything on the website would be really cluttered. And we have other old podcast episodes you can listen to as well. And then all you have to do if you want to join us, you can send in your application by the 1st of August to be eligible for the early bird bonuses. And after that, the absolute deadline is the 2nd of September. And then we're starting just the week after. So the 2nd of September, 2025. Fill out the application form. I will link that in the show notes too. And you'll all you have to do is pay a deposit. And oh wait, I forgot to say the payment and the pricing and all that information is available on the website and in the course information booklet. For what you get, it is an investment, but for what you get, I really do believe it is good value. All my students and all my graduates are really, really impressed with what they get and all the bonuses and everything they take away from the course and all the time and energy and the access. I'm very accessible in the program. I'm right there with you and there to help you as well. So, yeah. And if you need a payment plan, there's payment plans available. And I also, upon request, all the payment plans are published on the website. But if you need a slightly longer payment plan, just get in touch and we can see how we can help you with that. Okay. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for listening. I am so excited to meet you. There's so many people who are interested in this. It's such an exciting field to be part of. It benefits so many different careers and industries. It will not be a waste of your time at all whatsoever. And like I said, you can definitely engage with the course in your own way. And I'm just really excited to get the new group going in September. And that's it for me. Thank you for listening and big love. Have a lovely rest of your week.